Then Thaddeus pulls up like Batman and silences this man and says, and I quote, "I rambled too much, so I talk better to a corpse." And then the ego started soaring and they annihilated him, spamming noble phantasms at each other. And this scene was so magnificent, so majestic. Dare I say it? Fate is generational. Hansa speed blitzes him and booms into the next wall. Oh boys, ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely amazed at Fate because they have once again done it. 6 for 6, Fate for Fate, banger after banger. Yes, I'm already glazing Fate Strange. And don't worry, the UBW video is coming. I'm cooking that video up right after this one. Now, if you are new or a person that has lost countless hours in Fate lore, it doesn't matter because, like always, I will go over the basics as best as I can without being so boring. Because I literally did this in the other 2 videos. And we can all come together and bask in this magnificence. Will I know all the Fate lore? Absolutely not. Will I have questions? Yes. Will I say something wrong and chat will cook me for the next month? Yes. But it all comes with the love of the game. But we start off in America. Yes, America. Snowfield, Nevada. Interesting name for a desert. So Thaddeus and an old man that goes by Professor Liango. Liango starts explaining to Thaddeus about the Holy Grail War. Once again, this is a war between 7 mages and 7 servants. The mages are the masters to the servants, and the servants are heroic heroes that come for different timelines. Honestly, that's the easiest and most basic part of almost every Holy Grail war. But then we have this war which is already out of place because it's taking place in America and was set up to always take place in Japan. Now, I don't want to get into too much right now, but this is basically a fake Holy Grail war. Now, the first person to get summoned is Gilgamesh, the king of heroes. Like, imagine summoning this man and he pops up already flexing while sitting in a chair staring at you. And then his first words to you are,
"Did you summon me, you lowly mongrel piece of trash?"
Like, Gilgamesh might be top 5 in anime with the most ego. This man's entire hand is cut clean off. I'm already staring at my screen thinking this man Gilgamesh is already started his antics, but no, it was another person. And a girl comes into frame. She offers Gilgamesh this man's hand and says that she thought he should be punished for stealing his treasure key because he is not worthy. And you guys crucified me last time for calling this an anti-fortress weapon. Like, okay, I'm sorry. It's an anti-world noble phantasm. Are y'all happy now? Can we stop bullying me before our orbital strike all you guys' houses? So this man tries to pull out a hollow purple and she instantly counters this man and pulls out a whole tornado before burning this man to a complete crisp. I kid you guys not, I was like, this man died a little bit fast. And I went to see where I was at on the timeline and I was only 4 minutes into the show. That includes the intro credits. So a kid named Flat and his professor Elmaloy are having a conversation and Flat is trying to get into the Holy Grail War. And this man at first was coming off as a complete idiot. And he's not even supposed to know about the Holy Grail War in the first place, but he had eavesdropped on a conversation they were having. And I don't know why, but I feel like I should know this man. So the professor asked him, why does he want to be in the Holy Grail War in the first place? And Flat responds with that he just wants to see the Holy Grail. Yo, I don't know what's going on with this man and I can't put my finger on it, but something is off about him. So the professor's like, the Holy Grail War is not some joke. Can you end someone's life? He started sounding like he was going to start telling Prime King Von stories. And just like my boy Shiru, he didn't think it was even necessary to have to do such a thing. Well, I hope you can box and have your charisma stats all boosted up because these boys are going at it in the war. And not only that, it's being hosted in America. Yeah, bucko, all you about to hear is eagle noises and jazz music playing. So I guess Flat's whole goal is to befriend the other heroes also. Now, someone in the comment section told me that Fate is an infinite number of routes and universes, and that the ones we watch are the better outcome routes. So as Flat is walking, a girl comes up to him and says that a package was here for the professor and to give it to him quickly. This at first sounded a lot like this scene with Waver, but he actually does go to his professor and it was just an item to get Flat distracted away from the Holy Grail War. Now let's head back to Thaddeus and the old man again. So here's where things get very interesting very quickly. Thaddeus tells Liango that there are only 5 participants so far in the war, but Liango is like, little homie, what are you talking about? It's 6 right now, including an assassin. So that's 7 in total. Now, if you don't know, in every Holy Grail war, there are rules that cannot be broken. The first rule that was already broken is that the Holy Grail is taking place in America, which, like I said, makes this a fake war. So this also means it would be fake servants. In this war, the saber we know and love doesn't actually exist. So since the Grail was corrupted, this means not only will 7 servants be present, but also 7 false servants will also come to the war. Then Thaddeus starts rambling on more about how he was the one who was copying the 3rd Holy Grail War before and use it as a template. Man, that pack gonna hit every time, just like yours.
And what would that be?
So Phileas pulls out a lighter and a blunt, and then this man gets boom, and they start lighting this man up. Is this top 10 most disrespectful anime moments? I swear I saw this clip like 1,000 times before and I never knew it was from Fate. So you guys are telling me they gave y'all this special episode 3 years ago and are just now dropping the episodes? Man, it's a good time to be a Fate fan. But I know y'all were starving to get this series because I already need more. So still Team 6 pulls up and he starts explaining to them what mages are. Mages bleed and die just like regular humans and they aren't like servants. They can't block anti-tank type weapons. But the thing with this mage is that he uses puppets to get around to keep himself safe. So Liango is still with us for some more episodes. And this man Phileas is basically the man in this war that is pulling strings behind closed doors, although this war is more like a free fall for how messed up it is. Which brings us to the assassin servant getting summoned. Now I'm going to be honest, Fate Zero, I did not like the assassin class. And I'm pretty sure that Sasaki was an assassin class, but he wasn't a true servant. Much like the problems we face in Fate Strange Fate. So they summoned an assassin and she wasted no time packing her master up. Y'all better keep me from getting these powers. Someone pissed me off at work. Zavanaya. People driving on public roads while I'm on the street. Zavanaya. She has this man's entire heart in her hand. Then the first NPC makes his move, jumping mad high into the air, all just to get his face demolished. Long story short, they stood no chance. So Gigamesh and his master, who really isn't even his master because we all know how Gigamesh's ego is, he tells her that he will sit on the sidelines until someone who is worthy enough that can face him comes. Nah, Gigamesh, you're so nonchalant and cool, bro. Since the Maze Association was tapped into Liango's conversation with Phileas, the entire association now knows that he was a traitor. And yes, this is still the professor. I think this is a pretty cool ability. As both professors are having a conversation, he tells him that his apprentice Flat was seen in America. And this is when we learn that Flat snuck to America. But the item that Flat has is just a video game relic that the professor had won at a sweepstakes. Does this mean Flat won't have a master, or does this mean that his servant will be a fake servant? Now Flat, although he comes off as a lost puppy, he's actually a significant mage and knows how to control his magic circuits. And while he is doing this, a voice pops into his head.
Are you the human that summoned me? When are we going to be able to end everybody?
I love cookies. I love Starbirds.
Wait, what? Just tell me, did you summon me or not?
Is there some dude in my head?
Am I talking to myself? Am I muted or something?
Am I gonna go to Chick-fil-A? Or do I wanna go get some other food? I love America.
Oh great, I'm in here with the idiot.
So Jack the Ripper starts showing him his illusion abilities. Okay guys, hear me out. When I see any animated girl that looks like this, is it crazy to think of a GTA slideshow? No, just me? So the servant tells Flat that he doesn't know too much about his past. He wants to get the Holy Grail to learn about it. But one thing he does remember is that his alias name was Jack the Ripper. Bro name sounds like a puppet combo game. Now do you guys remember the master, that assassin that packed up? Turns out this man is still alive and was in love with her after the incident. Like, what is wrong with this man? Also, side note before I forget, but this dude is a dead apostle, aka a vampire, and this man changes out his heart. Yo, who does bro think he is? Kakazu? Then this man's entire form changes. And a question on this, but is there a reason his command mark is on his stomach? Does this have some type of meaning? Like, is this something similar to what the Ironsburns do? Now let me introduce you guys to Orlando Reed, the master of Castor and the leader of the police force. So instead of only the church this time hiding the war, Americans, the police chief, and the church will be involved in this route. So Castor calls him, blowing his eardrums off, and I'm not gonna lie, this might be my favorite Castor I've seen so far. Now this Castor, I believe, has the ability to write basically reality. This man is busted. So he creates grimoires. Speaking of that, I do want to get into Black Clover, but let's be honest, them first few episodes are kind of rough, but I still want to finish it one day. Now once someone uses a grimoire, they basically become cursed, and anyone can use his grimoire so long as if they can read. But I'm not gonna lie, those boards are looking hella clean. So guys, I don't know who this lady is at all. I swear they never said anything about her just yet. So don't say anything in the comment section. But if she's a problem, type hashtag she crazy if I should be worried about her. I mean, she was giving off cuckoo vibe. I mean, there's never ever no reason to ever have this pose unless you have the worst intentions for humanity. Remember how I said this was a fake Holy Grail war and a lot of the rules are being broken? Well, apparently this man has something to do with it. Now, I don't think him and Thaddeus are on the same team. This is where things get crazy. A man shoots a person, or so I thought it was a person, because of the way he was screaming and spamming the kick button, until a giant shadow of Tree came and a guy came out of the blue asking, "Are you the one who summoned me here?" And then went over to the wolf, which by the way is a chimera. Oh no, I'm getting flashbacks. All it took was one glare from this man for him to run away scared. Then Thaddeus pulls up like Batman and silences this man and says, and I quote, "I rambled too much, so I talk better to a corpse." And then the ego started soaring and they annihilated him. Now this is the part that confused me. Thaddeus says this man has summoned a servant on the level of a god, and that's considered against the rules. So bro senses Gilgamesh's presence, and this is how I knew things were about to get crazy. Gilgamesh actually looked surprised, and then he started laughing happily. And this is when I knew Gilgamesh was just like a dog like the rest of us at heart. He couldn't help but catch a good fade. So Gilgamesh says it's about to get serious. Frame 1 and instantly pulls out Aya. This man broke the fabrics of time just to summon it. Holy peak, holy perfection. This is like when the gravy gets poured over the mashed potatoes when it's steaming hot. And they both take off after each other. And this man Thaddeus sees one of them zoom past him as they meet up in the desert area because he didn't want the forest to get damaged. Side note, his name is Enkidu. And since I'm coming from UBW straight to strange fake, I don't know about the history with these two. But it's enough for Gilgamesh not to even talk any smack to him. It instantly gets serious. So they have a huge clash and then kick it up a notch, spamming noble phantasms at each other. And this scene was so magnificent, so majestic. Dare I say it? Fate is generational. Look how much fun this man Gilgamesh is having. But their fight gets cut short because look at these frames and pay attention. Is that the Grim Reaper? And then some plague mask comes with the frame. What could possibly be so evil that it made Enkidu stop the entire fight to pay attention to the new servant threat? And this thing, I really don't like it. It's like controlling this little girl and hunting her. So Gilgamesh was like,
"Ain't nobody worried about a Grim Reaper when you are a king?"
And this man erases the frames from existence and booms the entire land, and you can see the light from the moon. The gosh dang moon! And look at the size of this crater, which wraps up the entire start of our introduction to Snowfield. This brings us to one of the true magicians of fate. His job is to oversee the infinite timelines in the fake universe and allow certain ones to happen and make sure there are no reality collapses. He is a cosmic authority, but he saw no reason to interfere with anything, and the person on the phone recommended our new main protagonist, Ayaka, which finally brings us to the actual start of the Fate Strange fake start. Ayaka is an interesting main character because although she knows she traveled from Japan to America, she doesn't know exactly which part of Japan she is from. And of course she has the mark that shows she's a master in the Holy Grail War. It's really tripping me out how this dude has a mark that's not on his hand. But we get a slight little flashback, and I swear this is the Einsburn's mansion. I know that structure from anywhere. If I'm wrong, then I'm flying. Now Thaddeus has the entire city under surveillance. Like finally, thank you. I've always wondered how certain animes would be if they had modern day surveillance system. Also, some sort of disease is spreading through animals, and it was this one scene where this guy's body was doing the same thing. So they think it's some sort of curse that might be spreading around. But Thaddeus has the drop on all the masters we have seen so far, including this man whose name is Jester. I guess I was also wrong about saying that the Sheaf and him don't work together. Well, at least not for right now they don't. And guys, get used to Ayaka getting these bad dreams because in this one, she's told that she is cursed, and if she runs from the Holy Grail, then the curse will devour her life. She had actually got kidnapped because she was thinking stuff was sweet. These people are no better than Shiru. At least he knew nothing about the war, so he had an excuse. But why is she walking around as a master, and better yet, walking around America as a master? So the person that kidnapped her called her a disgusting Einsburn puppet. His plan was to see if the legendary Saber, the one who ruled over the Knights of Round Table, would slay a woman that is defenseless. Yo, calm down, fam. I could not be in the Holy Grail War. The way they all act, I would just have summoned Gilgamesh and ordered him to blow Snowfield up. So as this man is summoned in the Saber class, assassins ended up coming and ending this man. Where did she even come from in the first place? And why is her crazy tailed self here? Look how fast she's moving. And then Ayaka's hand touches the summoning circle, and out comes the new Saber class. Look at the drip. Look at the elegance. Nah. And the glazing from me is not about to stop right here. Assassin starts zooming around trying to catch Saber off guard. He pulls out his sword on some nonchalant stuff and then booms the entire roof of the building off.
Perfect KO.
Then, just like the good old times, he asks Ayaka if she is his master. This is already a W group. I don't even need to see more. I'm going to be doing more tricks on the Fate anime than Johan does on Zephyr. But this is America, and the police force shows up instantly, and they end up arresting Saber and Ayaka. And Saber literally goes up in the front of the news on top of a fire truck and starts proclaiming his justice. Are we serious? This is how out of control and chaotic it should be to hide a war that's happening in the middle of a city. Now, the way they can actually hide this is by mind wiping people or using a certain incense to make them forget about certain things, which will have to be used for a super lit upcoming fight. This all leads us to the church in America. They have multiple locations, but they have now started to integrate into the Holy Grail War, even though they are only involved in the war as overseers and not actual participants, unless we are talking about this dirty dog. Remember, it's always beef when I see him. Hansa is asking his father to just let him go eradicate everyone, and his father says that's not really the role they need to play. He also reminds his son that when it comes to fighting, he's just a slightly better fighter than him. And I'm thinking of all the church members that I've seen so far, and I'm like, yeah, bucko, you might want to sit this one out. But as Hansa is walking out, his father powers up and throws a casino chip at him that was thrown back so fast the entire chip broke. We literally didn't even see him throw it back. And why do I hear robot noises when he moves his arms? Okay, so maybe I need to put respect on this church. As Saber and Ayaka are locked up, the chief tells us that they actually spotted a homunculi in Soulfield, which of course has to be for Ayaka. And this is gonna need a mind wipe for sure. Once again, Ayaka is having a bad dream about this curse thing. Now, would y'all take $10 million, but a snail chases you for the rest of your life at a slow pace and never stops, but if it touches you, you will die? Not gonna lie, I'm taking that deal. But why are you in America in the first place? But Saber tells her they are linked between each other because of the magic circuits. So whether she likes it or not, she is a master and he will protect her. Alright, now let's get into these scenes that got me moving and dancing in my seat. All his dirty little secrets and information. He's actually been going around and greeting everyone as the overseer. And this part was so absolutely clean. I gotta bring in my boy because I need some backup for this.
Yo, Pre, what's good? Damn, egoed off rip? Say no more. My boy really thought he had a choice. You're going with them no matter what. Because Orlando rolls deep. Had I been putting in the Will Smith, he wasn't familiar with his game. But he was trying to press him for information. The lights went out and a certain someone was falling from the sky. But as soon as them lights turn on, wait, hold on. Who is that? Nah, she did this on purpose low key. She swears she's not her game or something. But the priest does not care. So you know it's fair game. And they were on her head heavily. Going on everybody. Grabbed this random. But Orlando weaved and freed them. And I don't want to sound stupid, but like, what the hell is a Zabania? She started spamming it after this, so hey, I don't know. And now we know that this servant is Assassin. And he was not ducking her smoke. Whipped out the pistol that summons demons. But Assassin is not a rookie. Pulled a 6'9" and stole that. Had them attacking his. They got all this magic, but all she needed was a Smith & Wesson. But she's yapping about wanting to end the Holy Grail War and break the cycle. Oh my god. No one wants to hear this right now, bro. But honestly, he should have known better. Bro didn't even move. He just closed his hand. And he was a little peckish too. So he just ate my boy's sword. I mean, I guess, bro. He's literally a vampire who's pulled up to kill his own servant. I mean, she killed him first, so it's fair game. But you know she was pressed, trying to take him out. And he was like, yo, respectfully move, bro. You know for a fact you're not like that. There's no way out of this one, bro. You're done. But they are not scary. It's a shame bro is literally untouchable. First he turns their arrows to dust, fries 4 people. Big bro charges in and gets deflected. Then my boy with the hammer jumps in and his attack gets Tom and Jerry, bro. Really got cooked by he told him to seek religion. Then picked up an entire chair and told bro, I'm about to beat some faith into you. But Orlando is not a bum, bro. He was ready for all.
Shout out to my boy. Make sure I go show him plenty of love and thank you for hopping on. That's some real stuff. Now, after Hansa poured the coffee on him, he started talking his talk. Not just once, but twice. Do you know how disrespectful that is? So Jester throws the entire bench at him and Hansa kicks it all the way up into the ceiling. Yo, who is this man? These church members in America are built different. Hansa speed blitzes him and booms into the next wall. After we just saw him mixing up the other members. Now, it's time to absolutely lock in. He started spamming Debris as Hansa keeps slicing it off. Then a jacket gets thrown, he kicks it as Jester comes from the top ropes like Junkrat, slipping down as they crack the entire floor. They get right back to it. Super crashes into an elbow, straight into a parry. A brutal gut shot into the hardest kick, making him pose for the camera. He gets sent flying. Hansa doesn't let up, immediately following up by blowing him even farther back. So Jester starts throwing cards for no reason, and I know at least one of them doesn't have insurance. And look at Hansa, just T-posing. Hansa throws his sword and Jester catches the last one with his teeth. Then he double Hanzo flips and throws his sword. He parries and gets into a crouch punching form as they clash. Jester is dang near breakdancing as he goes in head first as they clash again. Swing dodge into a flip that clashes and Hanzo swings off a street pole and booms Jester into multiple cop cars. Jester then decides to kick the level up even more. He started throwing fire tornadoes at bro before taking a shot at his heart to meet metal. Yes, this man Hanzo is 70% robot. I can't even lie. He might be another clean character. What are we thinking of Hanzo, guys? So Jester starts running up a building and Hanzo follows and pulls out a whole chainsaw from his leg and uses it to scale up the side of the building. And Jester had a gun ready to start blasting, but Hanzo tanks it like the go he is. Now I have no idea what the burial agency is, but this pissed Hanzo off when he compared him to them. And he got even more serious. But since this man is a vampire and the sun was coming up, he had to retreat. I think, do vampires and fake burn in the sun, or did they stop because they can only fight at nighttime? But then again, this is a fake Holy Grail war, so maybe somebody will attack during daytime. But before he could escape, Hanzo tries to attack and misses, and then he pulled out the noob tube and blasted him with that. But he got away inside of a building. So Hanzo calls in his team to help out with brainwashing the people who witnessed the event and to interrogate any suspicious people in the area. So who the heck is this guy? And how did he get past her so easily? There's so much trouble and mystery in this route. I don't have the slightest clue about what will occur. Now, Flat has a certain ability that allows him to sneak on other people, which is insanely good because it's kind of like a caster ability. But he also was watching a fight with Gilgamesh and Enkidu along with Hanzo and Jester. And while he was doing that, he ended up taking a picture of Gilgamesh, who was in the city at the time, and he sent it to his professor, and that's where I know this man from. It's Waver Velvet, and he's all grown up. Now, before I end, I think the Archer class has now arrived and is attacking Gilgamesh. And it's confirmed that there will be double the amount of servants and masters because Fadius summoned another one, which comes to the end of the episodes we have right now. I ain't gonna lie, I'm so excited for this.